monopoly. Now, monopoly is a one firm. So the industry and the firm is the similar. There are very, very high barriers to entry and exit both, because monopoly, it's a huge investment. There is no competition there. So not everyone can afford to come close to that. Again, it's government has anti-monopoly practices because the government does not prefer that that a monopoly should come in, because if there is no competition, then they might exploit the consumer by charging higher price or lowering the output. So competition is always healthy for the consumer, for the market. So that's how the government restricted. But again, having said that, even if the firm has 75-80% of the market share, it's still quite a monopoly, like how Microsoft is there, or Google is there, and Apple, yeah, in its own space. Now, though many have come into screen, but earlier it was a big monopoly. So now, in this case, if you look at the diagram, it is exactly like monopolistic competition. Can you see that? Yeah. Short run abnormal profit, it's exactly your monopolistic or abnormal profit. It behaves in the same way. And short run losses, again, same. Now, generally, we say that monopoly has short run abnormal profits because of no competition, so they can rule the market. But it also happens that in case the product doesn't work or there is no demand, it just gets completely fade away from the market, then they might have losses also. So you don't have to make the diagram again, just you can write the heading there, monopoly, and you can say short run abnormal profit. The diagram similar to monopolistic competition, and short run losses also, it's similar. You can just read through below what is written. Now, sources of this question you get for 25 marks, where you have to elaborate on this part along with some more market structure they might ask. Sources of monopoly power or barriers to entry. Sources of monopoly power or barriers to entry. Now, a monopoly industry or a firm, whatever you say, there are very, very high barriers to entry, as we have already seen. So how they do is, because they have very high economies of scale, so if there is a monopoly firm who is targeting the entire market of the country, like Jio is there, in a way it's a monopoly. If they have a very high large market share, like where Airtel or Vodafone cannot come close to that. So if they produce at very high economies of scale, then the other firms cannot enter because they cannot match that kind of a price which they are offering. Then there could be national monopoly, which can come through the government, mostly like in case of state electricity, or gas stations and all, where again the costs are very, very low. No one else can compete because the government funds are put there. Then legal barriers. If you have created something which is your intellectual property, there are patents, there are copyrights to that. So then other people cannot enter that industry. Then fourth point, your brand loyalty. A very, very high brand loyalty, if it is created in the market, like Apple has a very high brand loyalty. So even no matter other people are selling phones which is much more responsive or much more features it has than Apple has its own restriction. Again, the gadgets or the other parts of Apple are expensive in market, but still people go for it because they are loyal to that brand. Then fifth point of putting a high barrier to entry for that product is anti-competitive behavior. Like they offer some kind of a feature which other person cannot offer, or they promote their product in such a way that the competitors cannot match what they are offering. So very high promotion, very high marketing, or very strong some USP that they have will become a anti-competitive behavior for them, where other competitors cannot enter. Now, advantages of monopoly over perfect competition. In case of monopoly, firms achieve very high economies of scale, so they can offer things at a lower price than PC. There may be high levels of investment in research and development in case of monopoly, because they can afford that. That's a very big firm, so they can get into more innovation, more technology, better investments there. But disadvantages, they are productively and allocatively inefficient, whereas perfect competition firm is efficient in the long run. Another disadvantage, if economies of scale are not great enough, then monopoly will restrict the output and charge higher price, which normally they do. Even if they achieve economies, they try to exploit the market by charging higher price. And they follow anti-competitive behavior. They try not to let other people come in the market. That's also a form of anti-competitive behavior, where they are selling the prices at, you remember anti-dumping we used to talk about in economics in IGCSE. So it's basically, you know, they try to sell products at such a low price that other people will not be able to match it, which is not a healthy competition. They are trying to influence the market behavior. So again, efficiency is not achieved in case of monopoly. If you found this video helpful, do drop a like and share it with your friends. If you want to see more such videos, subscribe to this channel and let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. Hope to see you in the next episode of Dimplenomics. Till then, keep learning, keep growing. All the best. God bless.